Am I the idiot for installing and wanting to keep a bidet even though my wife doesn't want it? Last week I convinced my wife to get a bidet. I ended up splurging on a nice one from Costco that comes with a heated seat too. I love it, but my wife tried it a few times, and she doesn't like it. She wanted me to remove the bidet. I don't see why I should, since it's basically a regular toilet with the bidet settings off. She says that the seat is now too high and that it feels weird to lean back on it, but I don't really see the difference. I really like this bidet and it's been a real game changer for me. So now, she's insisting that I move the bidet and all my stuff to the guest bathroom and use that instead, but I don't want to do that either, since wouldn't it just make more sense for her to use the toilet in that room? Plus it's a real hassle to uninstall and reinstall the bidet. But she says that it's my bidet, so it's my problem. We live in a one-story home and our bathrooms are literally around the hall from one another. The only difference is that the bidet bathroom is really close to the bedroom. Wife has been pretty miffed and complains every time she uses the bidet bathroom now. Is there something I'm missing here? Am I the idiot? Edit. Well, I talked it over with my wife and it turns out the woman I've been living with is a freak. We had a serious conversation about it over lunch, and the reason why she dislikes it isn't the height, but rather the fact that the bidet material does not get as cold as the cold toilet seat. She likes cold toilet seats, for some reason, and I guess she was just nitpicking the back of the toilet and the height to not admit that. Anyway, I've followed what some commenters said and asked her if she's willing to adjust the bidet settings and try it out for another week or two before I move it, and she's agreed. Hopefully our asses will be clean. P.S. I do consider myself taller than my wife, but we measured our legs for fun and it turns out that her legs are actually slightly longer than mine. Crazy that we've just now known that after these years. You're the idiot. It may be a TMI question, but how often do you poop? Not interested in your bowel health, but the fact that women have to sit down to pee and poop. You just sit down to poop, I assume. So you expect her to be uncomfortable 100% of the time so you can use the bidet 20% of the time? Just move it. You're the idiot. You are being selfish. You lowered her comfort level to raise yours. You changed the status quo and created the problem. You are the one who should have a guest bathroom. I suppose you use the bidet function only for number 2, right? On average once a day? She sits down every single time. As a fairly short woman, I absolutely understand the hassle. Plus, having a bathroom closer to the bedroom is more convenient during periods. I'm not going into details. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for giving my niece a present at her sister's birthday party? I have 2 nieces, K7 and L3. K recently celebrated her birthday, and her mom, my sister, threw her a birthday party. I don't live in their area, so I rarely visit unless it's a special occasion, and K's birthday was one. I brought K 2 wrapped presents which I gave her at her party. After she ran off to play, I took out another unwrapped present for her sister L. It was a smaller toy and she immediately started to play with it. K came back and grabbed it from L thinking she stole one of her presents, but I explained to her that I bought it for her sister. In response, K took her birthday crown off her head, threw it away, then ran away crying. She told my sister that I gave L her present even though it was her birthday. My sister asked what happened and I explained, but she got angry at me for giving L a present in the first place. She said the day was about K, so anything I had for L I should have kept it until later. In my defense, I was leaving early in the morning and I didn't want to forget about it. She then instructed me to take the toy from L and give it to K so she would stop crying since it was her birthday, and she would be taking pictures cutting her cake soon. I refused since 1, the toy wasn't in the suitable age range for a 7-year-old. It was one of those squeaky baby plushies. 2, it belonged to L and K had 2 gifts from me and many more from others. However, she insisted it was the best option and that she would give L a new toy tomorrow. During the party, I had to take L upstairs to console her since she was crying after having her toy taken away, and I felt bad because I only wanted both of them to be happy, but I ended up making both my nieces cry. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You didn't make your nieces cry, your sister did. A 3-year-old might not understand the concept of a birthday gift being given to one person and not another, but the older sibling can certainly be made to understand why their baby sister was given a baby's toy to not feel left out. This is a parenting fail, not an anti-fail. Your sister should have handled that herself instead of asking you to take a toy away from a small child and then blaming you for the kid being upset. Not the idiot. I have family who live in a different town, and I do the same thing. I have family who do it for my kids too. Thank God my children and nieces and nephews are nice people. My kid just had her 5th birthday and got 2 $50 bills just for her, and straight up gave one to her sister, and her sister does the same thing at her birthday, and it's the sweetest LOL. We also have family friends who live close but will literally buy and wrap a present for both kids on both birthdays, haha, just cause they love spoiling our kids. Your niece's reaction was a bit yikes, haha. I would be stern talking to my daughter if she behaved like that about something so small. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for letting my daughter have a peanut butter cake when my nephew is allergic? So my daughter recently turned 7, and for our family part, she asked for a peanut butter and chocolate cake. I agreed. I let my sister know not to bring my nephew 3, because of his allergy. It's so bad that he can't even be near/breathe in peanut butter particles. She asked if I would change the cake to be just chocolate so that my nephew could come. I said no, that it was my daughter's cake and she can have peanut butter if she wants. She called me unreasonable because my daughter could have had peanut butter cake with her friend party. She didn't have cake with her friends, she just had pizza. She said that my daughter needs to learn to compromise for the sake of family. I told her that I would talk to my daughter, but not to expect a 7-year-old to choose her baby cousin over her favorite cake. My conversation with my daughter played out just like I predicted, and when I told my sister, she called my daughter selfish and ungrateful. She said that I'm a bad parent because I taught her to hate nephew. She threatened that if my nephew wasn't welcome, then neither she nor her husband would come either. I said that was fine, because she wasn't welcome either. I then reached out to my brother-in-law to let him know what was going on, and to tell him he was still welcome if he wanted to come. He thanked me, but said that he would stay home to support my sister. Her party came and went, and my sister is still very distant and cold. This has me wondering if I was too harsh to her and my nephew, or too soft on my daughter. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your 3-year-old nephew won't comprehend or care about missing a party. Our sister, on the other hand, maybe she doesn't want to say she's heard about missing out on your daughter's party, but definitely tried to make it all about her by saying your 7-year-old was selfish for wanting the cake she wanted. Everyone sucks here. You had 2 parties and chose to give your kid the cake that could literally kill her baby cousin at the party specifically for the family? She was a prick for her comments, I agree, but you were being a nincompoop yourself. We teach empathy to little kids. Little Johnny has a bad allergy that can make him sick or even kill him if he's near peanuts. Since we love him and want him to be safe, we'll have that peanut butter cake at the friend's party. 2 cakes, yum! What other flavor should we have at the family party? That's all it takes. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for wearing my hijab to a wedding? Alright, so, if 24, have been friends with my friend Clara, 25, female, since I moved to the US at the age of 7. We've had our ups and downs as all friendships have, but we always make up in the end. Well, when she announced that she was getting married, she asked me to be one of her bridesmaids, and I of course said yes because we're good friends and I wanted to support her. We went out to go dress shopping for her wedding dress and the bridesmaids' wedding dresses. We eventually found some nice dresses for the bridesmaids. They were pink dresses that looked stunning and mine was modest enough that I felt comfortable with it. Now jump to the day of the wedding. We all show up as soon as the bride sees me, though she pulls me off to the side and asks why I decided to wear my red hijab to the wedding, as you're not supposed to wear red at weddings. I told her that this was the closest hijab that I had that would match with the dress, as I'm not going to wear a black hijab or a white one, as you aren't supposed to wear white at a wedding either. She told me that she would have preferred me wear a black hijab than red, even though the red matched better. She then told me that I should have just bought a pink one to match with the dress. Now I have to say that I'm not necessarily a fan of pink, but I was wearing it for the wedding because I do it for a friend, but I wasn't going to spend any on a new hijab that I'd probably only wear once and then have it sit around. I told Clara this, but she was still insistent that I should have bought a pink one or worn a black hijab instead. She said I didn't ruin her special day, but she was cold to me for the rest of the wedding and reception because of it. So I'm just curious about, am I the idiot for wearing my red hijab instead of wearing a black one or buying a pink one? Edit. So I had worn the red hijab while dress shopping, and I had made several comments about dresses matching the color of the hijab, and some of the other bridesmaids agreed along with the bride herself, but I didn't explicitly state I was going to wear it. Also, apologies for not putting red, as I messed up. I did not intend to try and be misleading. Edit 2. The red wasn't fire engine red, it was a light coral, so on the lower end of the red spectrum, but still red. The bride wasn't mad that the colors clashed. She was mad about the apparent rule of if you wear red it means you slept with the groom, which I had no idea existed. You're the idiot for not purchasing a hijab to match your bridesmaid dress. Part of being a bridesmaid is wearing specific attire designated by the bride. You should have been accommodating and bought a hijab to at least match your dress. Everyone sucks here. The communication here was lacking. Bride knew you were wearing a hijab and should have conveyed color preference. You knew you didn't have a pink hijab and should have asked the bride for opinions. This isn't about wearing a hijab to a wedding, but is about the lack of communication between friends. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for moving up running times to prevent my sister from coming along? I 17M have been taking my brother 15M along with me for runs. We tend to go at 6:30 in the morning, and it's been really relaxing. My brother and I have also got along much better as a result, and I've gotten to know my brother a lot better. The problem is, my younger sister, female 13, wants to join as well. but she's an absolute brat in terms of personality. She always snitches on my brother and she's treated like the golden child by our parents. She's also really annoying and has low tolerance and patience for anything difficult. Plus, I don't want to have to babysit a kid and run at the same time. My sister started waking up at 6:30 to try and catch us, and she would usually involve our parents, so for about a week, she came running with us. It was pretty bad. She didn't know anything about proper pacing, or running forms/mechanics, and didn't really know how to expand the least amount of energy with foot placement. She would get mad at us for running for so long, and would get annoyed if we talked, since it disturbed her rhythm. I finally got tired of this, and told my brother that we'll start early. For the next couple of weeks, we left at 4:30ish, and just told our sister that we didn't want to run anymore, so she stopped waking up at 6:30. But now my brother's feeling bad, and saying that maybe we shouldn't have lied, we should have told her up front she's not welcome, but I didn't really want to have that kind of conversation. No idiots here. I am old, so I may be out of date about teen stuff. Sorry if this is silly in today's world. If she is trying to be a part of your world, you might be able to find an activity that you can tolerate, and would make her feel special. She may be a bratty golden child because as the only girl, she is always left out of bro stuff. So parents overcompensate. Could you bear a trip to the mall or ice cream/coffee shop? A pleasant round of video games in which you handicap yourself to make it fun and fair? Maybe give it a shot a few times and see if her brat level improves and you find out she is possibly a decent little sister. Not the idiot. You're a kid. This isn't your job. This is something your parents should be handling. But I see they're not doing a bang-up job. Think though, what would be accomplished by telling her you don't want her there? How will that go down? Oh geez, you think I'm a snitch and a brat? Wow, thanks for telling me. I'll do some introspection and change my way of thinking. No. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out, screaming fest that will get nothing done other than ruining your run again. I'm sorry your parents refused to, parent, and handle this. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for refusing to go to my little sister's high school graduation? I, female 24, and the oldest of 3 sisters, female 23 and 17F. My middle sister has extreme disabilities that required pretty much all of my parents' attention as a kid. Time, money, and any extra resources were all given to my middle sister so that she could have doctors, tutors, a special school, etc. From the age of 5 I was pretty much left to raise myself, and when my youngest sister was born, I pretty much raised her too. I struggled a lot in high school as I also have a mild version of my sister's disability, but it was ignored since hers was much more severe. My parents did not help me at all. They ignored my concerns about my grades, rejected my request for a tutor, and did not seem to care at all that I was pretty much failing. I didn't even have time to study on my own as much of my life at home revolved around taking care of my sisters. I managed to graduate and immediately took a retail job that I am still at today. My youngest sister graduates this weekend and my parents asked me to attend. The thought literally makes me want to throw up. By the time my youngest sister hit high school, my middle sister no longer lived at home, and she was on state benefits. That meant my parents suddenly had all the time and money in the world which they used to get my youngest sister in an amazing, private high school. They gave her tons of support, and she is graduating with honors and has an offer to attend an Ivy League college. It may be childish, but I do not feel like it is fair at all. I don't hold a grudge against my sister, and I have sent her a graduation card, but the thought of sitting through a whole ceremony and hearing my parents talk about all of her accomplishments is too much. They are extremely upset about the fact that I said I won't go. I haven't talked to my sister yet, but I assume she will be upset as well. Am I the idiot? Edit. I have seen a lot of comments saying that choosing to not attend the graduation is some revenge plot against my parents. That is not it at all. I'm trying to protect my own feelings, as well as not ruin my sister's celebration by being negative or jealous. I am not good at hiding my feelings and I'm afraid she would be able to tell. I could care less what my parents say or think. Also, my sister and I are not very close anymore. I moved out after I turned 18 and our contact has been limited. I truly don't know how she would feel about me missing the ceremony. Regardless, I will take your suggestions about taking her out for dinner separately from my parents so we can talk. Not the idiot. No one seems to be taking into account that you were the scapegoat of your family. It looks like your parents can only parent one child at a time. There's no real reason to put yourself through this. Keep living your life in peace, OP. Not the idiot. If I was in your shoes, I would go back to school to get a better job and ask your parents to pay for it like they do for your sister, and if they refuse, that would be an immediate no contact from me. You're in your right to think it's unfair, but it's never too late to go back to school for a better job/future. You're the only 24, you have all the time in the world. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.